middle. If you're in the middle, get out of it, so you won't receive the kick. Master said, tell him a story or two. He says it loosens things up. So now we've got things loosened up. Let's go on now with the rest of our subject. So, we were talking about this delusion. Now, if we could understand this delusion, then naturally we would not follow it. We would not follow out a happiness. We would search for joy eternal. But if we could somehow taste the superior joy of the presence of God, these outward pleasures would not allure you to the extent that you'd become attached to them. And so the thing is, we must somehow taste the superior pleasure of God's presence. It's like if you never meditate, you can never taste that. But if somehow in these services we can coax you to try the meditation and you taste the superior pleasure or happiness or joy of eternal consciousness, then you can compare it. Then you can understand the difference between outward pleasures and inward pleasures of the soul. We must do that. It's like someone has an automobile. They call those things jalopies, aren't they, the little ones? Not much. And you ride along in it. And suddenly someone lets you ride, say, in a good car, a Cadillac. Then can't you see the difference and compare it? So it is with happiness. Seeing the difference. Then you will follow that, which is better for you and gives you joy supreme. Speaking about the Cadillacs reminds me of a story a friend of mine told me. These two millionaires from Texas, they were, went to the Cadillac sales room to buy Cadillacs. And so one says he picked out a nice Cadillac with everything as they come equipped with all sorts of things, and he says, I'll take that one, and I also want to put another order in for this man with me. Well, the other man says, no, he says, I'll pay for my own. No, the fellow says, you paid for the lunch today. You see. So there you have it. That's a good delusion, though. That's a delusion I'd like to have sometime. So that's why. That's pretty good, isn't it? Well, I'm going to let you into a little secret. You know who told me that? Mr. Hart. That's a good story, Mr. Hart. I'm happy that I remembered it. Now, going on, that's why we have meditation in our churches here. And that's why I entice you and try to persuade you to come here. Not for my own good, except that I feel a great joy when others feel God. But for your own good, that you compare the different types of joy and happiness. Happiness from the senses and joy from the Spirit. Joy from the presence of God within you. And Master has pointed this out most wonderfully in one of his references, which I'll give you this time. From his little book, the Master said, I know many of you read it, indulgence in sense joys is followed by satiety and disgust. These constant dual experiences make man moody and unreliable. You try to sell a house, you get it almost sold, and the sale falls through. I can't blame you for being moody. That's what happens in existence, in this world existence. Maya, or the state of delusion, is characterized by the pair of opposites. Through meditation on God, the soul unity, the devotee banishes from his mind the alternating waves of pleasure and pain. If, in selling that house, you weren't swept aside by the enthusiasm into the dual consciousness, felt God in all things, you'd treat that just as a drama or a play of life. But it's very difficult to do that. And so we must understand, if we want to be sure of our happiness and our joy, we must find it in God. Now this brings up a point of peace of mind and real joy of the soul. Peace of mind is a negative state. Peace of mind is a negative state. Joy of the soul is a positive state. Peace of mind comes when you attain freedom from the turmoil of a racing, uncontrolled mind. You have a certain peace of mind. You feel a great relief. But that will not satisfy you until you follow it up with the positive state of the joy of spirit. There's quite a difference there. When your mind carries you here and there and you cannot control it and things go wrong, you're in a turmoil. As Jesus said, in this world you will have that. But then he said, be of good cheer, I have overcome the world. And so you must follow that peace of mind by the positive state of the joy of God's presence, and feeling that. No state will equal it. Nothing can touch it when God's love is felt. It far surpasses ordinary peace of mind. Peace of mind is cessation of the racing thoughts. But God is above thought, as I said this morning. And when you're above thought, push on, don't stop there. Push on and get the positive thing, the joy of God's presence. So peace of mind is one thing. That's not the end. You will not be satisfied because that'll pass away. Peace of mind. Mind is not the lasting thing. Soul consciousness is the lasting thing. So peace of mind will pass away. But the soul consciousness will not, because that's God himself. That's the unity of God's presence. And therefore, joy, eternal bliss of the soul, does not depend on outward consciousness or the stimulation of outward things. It is naturally inherent within us. It's there in a natural way.